not getting to be in the ring with Randy Orton at WrestleMania really sucks.
Kevin Owens is out of WrestleMania. Apparently he has suffered an injury, and now that leaves Randy Orton.
You no longer have a match for WrestleMania.
We gotta slot him in somewhere. Randy Orton must be on WrestleMania, and I came up literally with about 14 or 15 options, and not even forced. I'm not like reaching out to say, oh, maybe we could get Edge to fight him. No. These are legit people, legit feuds that can happen on a dime and still make sense. We're gonna go over them right now. First off, we'll start off with the most obvious, Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis is the GM of Smackdown, and why is it the most obvious? Oh no! Because Randy Orton already RKO'd him. Thankfully, he paid his fine in advance.
Fine was $50,000. This is $100,000.
Oh, that's for next time.
So now he doesn't have to factor in inflation. However, a lot of people might be like, Nick Aldis, that seems like nothing. Isn't he just a GM? No, my friends. I know that a lot of you might not venture out of WWE space, and you don't know of a lot of the history of certain wrestlers before they get to WWE, and that's perfectly okay. There's so much wrestling right now, it's almost impossible to keep track of who and where people come from. But Nick Aldis, let me give you a small history lesson on this dude. Nick Aldis is a former TNA champion.
And it's done. New world champ. New undisputed TNA heavyweight champion of the world.
And a former NWA champion. These are recognized by WWE as other federations outside of the WWE world. Plus, Nick Aldis is only 38 years old. Nick Aldis is still very, very young. You're like, oh, 38, that seems kind of old. Guess who else debuted at 38 in WWE? Give up?
The phenomenal one is here.
AJ Styles, all right? AJ Styles started his career at 38, and I think he did pretty well for himself. So Nick Aldis could easily lace up the boots and become a full-time WWE wrestler right now. Was that the plan? No, but sometimes the best laid plans of mice and men have to be scrapped up, thrown away, and let's see what we got. Let's go. Nick Aldis, you're in. We're calling you off the bench. Get in that ring with RKO, and we already got it. We already got the start of the feud, so easily just keep going. Nick Aldis could return to his general manager duties after WrestleMania, or he can just stay a wrestler, and we get a new GM, and maybe it'd be a heel GM. We haven't had one of those in a while. Next up, my next solution would be one that I'm not really fond of, but it's possible. We just insert him in the main event. John Cena and Cody Rhodes. I don't know exactly how we get there, but I'm pretty confident we can get there. Randy Orton could say, hey, John Cena, you did this to me a long time ago, and now I'm doing it to you because WrestleMania 24, let's flashback here.
It should be you and me at WrestleMania. It should have nothing to do with John Cena.
John Cena versus Randy Orton. The winner, if it is John Cena, going to the main event at WrestleMania in a triple threat match.
WrestleMania 24, John Cena had lost his opportunity to main event WrestleMania. He had won the Royal Rumble, but then he chose to cash it in early, and he lost his opportunity because he fought Randy Orton. Randy Orton got himself DQ'd on purpose. Triple H then won the Elimination Chamber, and he was to face the WWE Champion, and that was Randy Orton. And so John Cena came in and was like, no way, you got yourself disqualified on purpose. I should be in this match. And it became a triple threat, even though it really, honestly, shouldn't have. But they made it work. And so Randy Orton can just be like, I'm just returning the favor from 17 years ago. Can you imagine those two have been wrestling this long? And then what about Cody Rhodes? Well, it's Cody Rhodes. He could just be like, it's Cody. You can goat that guy into anything. All you gotta do is question his love love of the sport. Or say, what would your daddy do, Cody? And Cody will start crying, and then he'll be like, Randy, yeah, we're doing this at WrestleMania with his tracksuit on. So easily can goat Cody into this, and just play off the history of Randy and Cena. Don't want that to happen, but it could happen. And it's like, would WWE really change their main event just because somebody got out with injury? Yes, they would. The day one PLE, Roman Reigns
put it out. Roman Reigns tweeted that he did test positive for wishing him a speedy recovery.
Therefore, Brock had no opponent, so they just put Brock into the Big E title match.
That Brock Lesnar will now challenge for the WWE Championship tonight at day one. This is a fatal five-way now for the WWE Championship,
where Brock Lesnar went on to win the WWE title, this title right here, so it does have precedence. But if you want to win this world title right here, all you got to do is comment below. Comment anything, and you got to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and maybe thumbs up. That would just be nice. That's like an added bonus to helping the videos get out there. The engagement allows more people, more eyes on this channel, where we get more views. And at 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to give this belt away for free, shipping and everything. Trying to quit the day job, so help me out. Help me produce wrestling content all day long. I'll be the people's YouTube channel if you allow it. I appreciate every single one of you. Okay, so the next option then is Brock Lesnar. Let's just go Brock Lesnar. They have a history. Brock Lesnar pretty much murdered Randy Orton when they faced each other at SummerSlam. It was so bad. Randy was bleeding so bad. The ref called it. He was like, we're done. And that would be a great match and stuff, but honestly, Brock Lesnar's still tied to the Vince McMahon lawsuit that has not settled, so I don't think we get Brock until then. But every once in a while, WWE mentions his name, and, well, who knows? Maybe they're just waiting. They got Brock Lesnar in the bank for a situation like this, and we'll see. I doubt it. It is going to be Brock. But speaking of saying his name,
say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
This one's a long shot, but I know WWE is in love with TNA and Joe Hendry. So what if Joe Hendry says, I want a WrestleMania moment, I'll take on all challengers, and, well, I hear voices in my head. We have Randy Orton comes out. I doubt it, though. I doubt it because, well, he's the champion right now. Plus, they're both faces, so probably not gonna happen. And they don't got history, but here's an interesting one. The Wyatt Six. The Wyatt Six. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, they definitely had history, to the point where Randy Orton joined the Wyatt family. And then he proceeds to burn down the Wyatt compound. They have a fight. They have a feud at WrestleMania. Randy Orton wins the title off of Bray. I'm not going to lie. That was a very boring match. I remember watching it. They tried to spice it up by projecting an image of a lot of maggots.
Whoa. What the hell is going on?
On the mat, it fell flat. It fell flat, but it was also a time when WrestleMania was like 8 hours long, so like almost every match started to fall flat at a certain point. But that said, Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton have history. Randy beat him, so what if we just turn the Wyatt Six heel and they go after Randy for that reason? Hey, you know what? You stopped my brother once upon a time, and now I'm going to avenge him. We don't want to do the Wyatt Six? Well, we can do this one. You guys are gonna hate me. You guys are gonna hate me for this one, but gotta throw it out there. Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss isn't fighting anybody right now, and you're like, wait, what? Alexa Bliss, the female wrestler? Yes, Alexa Bliss holds a pinfall victory over Randy Orton. believe it or not, if you are new, if you have started watching wrestling in the last 2 years, well, Alexa Bliss has pinned Randy Orton in the past when she was all like creepy Alexa Bliss and the Fiend was on her side. Yes. It was that fun pandemic era, the fast lane, I think it was, and we had the Fiend get involved. But at the end of the day, Alexa Bliss has a pin, and what if Randy wants to avenge it? I highly doubt it. I think we're all trying to just block that from our memory, that happened as part of the Fiend Randy Orton feud. But you know what? That's even more reason for the Wyatt Six to get involved, though, because Randy Orton then beat the Fiend as well at WrestleMania. So Randy has 2 wins over Bray Wyatt, so Wyatt Six can definitely get involved here. The person that I really want to fight Randy Orton is actually the one that I have the least case for. I would love for Karrion Kross to get a singles match at WrestleMania. For the longest time on this channel, I've been saying, oh God, how does Karrion Kross even still have a paycheck? Because the guy was just like, I had no feeling for this guy whatsoever. I didn't like him. I didn't hate him. I had a lot of apathy for him. And that is the place where you do not want to be. You want to either be loved or hated, and I just did not care about Karrion Kross until last year. At some point, I found myself just kind of liking the guy, and I would love if all that hard work that he has put in on social media and on his on-screen performance, I would love if his hard work could be met with a reward of a WrestleMania match. That would be insane. The problem is I have no way right now to really start this feud other than it is in Karrion Kross's his nature to just go up to people randomly and try to get them to kind of turn to the dark side.
I believe in you, okay? And I can help you, but I can't do anything for you until you cut this New Day crap loose. Between you and I think it's really, really messed up how nobody respects you around here anymore.
There's no helping them. But you, Sami, I still believe deep down inside, you know there's always more time to turn things around.
John Cena selling out?
It's really not that surprising if you think about it.
So we'd have to do it right away, where Karrion Kross just starts trying to do that to Randy, and Randy's just like, I'm not having it. It will be very rushed, but it's possible. This is the only one that I'm gonna do like this, because you could do that with Andrade or Shinsuke Nakamura, but it doesn't really fit in their character still. I could see Karrion Kross just going up to Randy Orton and talking smack. So it'll be very forced, very rushed, but given the circumstance, I think everybody can agree that this is better than nothing. What if we did a WrestleMania 38? And I say that it's a repeat of WrestleMania 38 in that Seth Rollins had an opponent that it's who's this opponent gonna be? And it was somebody from the WWE's past. And that's what we're gonna have here, where Nick Aldis is like, okay, Randy, you want to RKO me? That's fine. I'm going to find you an opponent. Randy Orton versus a mystery opponent at WrestleMania 41. So we're now in the ring with Randy Orton, and we're wondering who's it going to be, because now we don't even have to have a build. The entire build is the mystery opponent. We just have to have a good mystery opponent, and the mystery opponent will be...
Randy, where's your favorite place to go? My favorite place to go is this little place called Las Vegas.
Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle was, he was an up-and-coming WWE superstar that he was his own worst enemy, could not get out of his own way, and I feel he probably wouldn't last long in WWE either, but all we need is one night, because when Randy Orton went out with the back injury for 18 months, his partner at the time was the original bro, Matt Riddle. They were tag team partners. They were a pairing that should not work and yet did. And so what if we just run back and we have a match between those two? Now, if we really want to go a different direction, we could have Randy Orton, have a tag team match with with Matt Riddle, and then he just RKOs him at the end, but I would rather it be a mystery opponent, and it's going to be Matt Riddle from his past. Two wrestlers on the roster that Randy Orton has had beef with in the past that maybe you could just reignite that beef are Kofi Kingston and Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa, not so much. It's more kind of he was feuding with him kind of sort of over the summer, but I feel like the reason why I put Solo in here is because, like, Solo was, like, the main bad guy in WWE last year, and now he's got nothing. He's Jacob Fatu's manager at this point. Yeah, he's probably going to turn on Jacob, but, like, seriously, we don't got a match for Solo. But that said, the Randy Solo connection, not that strong. They did not hate each other that much. So it would be more so Kofi and Randy. At one point, Kofi Kingston was on the rise. I believe it was around 2009, and he got into a feud with Randy Orton, and there's a visible moment where Kofi makes a mistake, and Randy says, "Stupid, stupid."
Goes for the RKO, connects. Kofi Kingston, jaw and face.
And Randy was more of a hothead back then too, and that kind of, they say that killed Kofi's, like, his push, and then we didn't get another real Kofi singles push until Kofi Mania. And here's the thing though, I believe that Kofi and Randy have already, they feuded during Kofi's title reign, and they kind of, like, that story has been wrapped up. Now, don't get me wrong, Kofi's a bad guy now, and we could easily have Randy Orton say something how, I don't know, he's just like, he's friends with Big E. And so he gets into a feud with Kofi Kingston. They have history. I wanted to bring it up. I don't think it's strong enough for them to have a match. I'd rather just the New Day continue on the course to win the titles anyways from the War Raiders. The next one pains me to suggest, but we're in a bind here. What if we did Bill Goldberg? Oh, God. I did not like the taste of saying Bill Goldberg, trying to put him on the WrestleMania card. But that said, we can make the best of a bad situation. What if, and I'm saying this in all seriousness, and not just because I hate the guy with an undying passion of 1,000 suns, but what if we had a squash match here? And what if we had just the bell rings, Bill Goldberg, he goes for a spear, and instantly RKO. RKO 1, 2, 3. It's a squash match. And there's multiple reasons for this, other than I would find it hilarious for Bill Goldberg to be squashed. But Bill Goldberg has said that he's going to have his retirement match this year. And I'm not saying that this be his retirement match, although I would love it to be the last time I ever see him. But the thing is, he just started training again, so he might not be completely ready to have his normal 2-minute match. So we have to make it a 10-second match. And he kind of owes people to be squashed anyways, because everybody has squashed for him in the past. Even Brock Lesnar was squashed by Bill Goldberg. So Bill Goldberg, get a fat paycheck and get squashed. That would be a really good WrestleMania moment, my personal feelings aside. So, like, let's just do Bill Goldberg, and that, it could easily just... It could start off like any Bill Goldberg feud where Randy Orton's like, I don't know who I'm going to face. I'm going to face someone. And then Bill Goldberg's music comes out and he's like, you're next. And he gets a concussion after, like, headbutting a locker or something. So Bill Goldberg, but it's a squash match. I got 3 more options. Next up, we go The Miz. The Miz almost falls in the same category of Solo and Kofi, where you're like, I don't know if there's enough history there, but there kind of is.
The Miz is cashing in his money in the bank contract. Miz is cashing it in on a vulnerable Orton. Miz, no crushing finale. He did it. He did it.
However, that was such a long time ago that it doesn't really apply to their characters right now. But The Miz is always one promo away from being in the main event. I do consider The Miz a mid-carder. However, Miz is very unique. You give him a mic and you tell him to just let loose, then he becomes a main eventer for about 3 months. When The Miz airs all of his grievances for everybody to hear, you take him serious. The Miz will go 2 years as a mid-card slash almost borderline comedy act or supporting character, and then for 3 months, he's just on fire as a main event guy. So what if somehow, some way, we had last week, we had a pretty deadly kind of call Miz like the Leonardo DiCaprio of the tag team division, where he's kind of just like, he picks young talent and just leeches off them or something. And then what if that sparked anger in the Miz? What if that made the Miz get really serious? He goes out in the ring, he gets really, really serious, and he's like, you want to say this to me? I'm a 2-time Grand Slam champion, and he just goes off about all his accolades and how he deserves more respect. And then he calls out Randy Orton, and he says, to prove it, I'm picking Randy Orton as my opponent. I'm challenging you right now, Randy. And we have just Randy and the Miz going at it, but we got to take the handcuffs off Miz and let him unleash, because when he gets serious, he gets good. He gets great. And so the Miz can really just say, you know what, this is my time. I'm here. And the Miz can use it as a way to show Mello how to be in the main event as well. I don't know. We could definitely have Mello a part of this also. So yeah, the Miz would be an okay choice if it was serious Miz with a microphone. 2 more options. The next one, very unlikely, but we totally change Randy Orton's gimmick. We're going to turn him heel now. And you know how there's the legend killer gimmick? Well, now Randy Orton is a legend, so he has to switch his gimmick totally up, and he has to become the rookie killer. That's right. Randy Orton is going to be a guy who just goes after rookies, people who have only been in WWE for 1 or 2 years. And I know that's going to be like, it kind of goes against everything, because now we're literally positioning a top talent to just purposely go out and squash rookies. But like, if we did this right, it would be very, very unique. I literally just came up with this like before I did this video. Like, any NXT person, Randy goes and just tries to destroy them. And I don't know. I don't know if this is a brilliant idea because it's never been done, or if this is a horrible idea because do we really want to be like destroying rookies? Well, then again, he gets these rookies in feuds with Randy Orton, and it's Randy Orton, so they can afford a loss. And then you could have Randy Orton versus Penta, Randy Orton versus Rey Fenix, Randy Orton versus Trick Williams, and then eventually what would happen, the big payoff to this whole thing is eventually Oba Femi comes out. Right? Oba Femi comes out and destroys Randy Orton because he's like, oh, you want to pick on all these smaller rookies? What about me? I'm a rookie. And he just murders Randy Orton at at Survivor Series or something. But for 6 months, we have a Randy Orton who's just a total menace to all these new people, and eventually it's Oba Femi. Oba Femi will kill him, though, eventually, and then we'll all go back to loving Randy Orton sooner or later. The only reason why I say we don't do that, well, there's a lot of reasons why I say we don't do that, because do we really want the rookie squashed on their first entrance into WWE? Plus, we're in a timeline in which we have a heel John Cena and a babyface Randy Orton, so we can't really turn Randy heel just yet until we get those two, till we get that matchup. So let's put a pin on that idea. And the final possible opponent for Randy Orton at WrestleMania 41, I'm gonna pull a CM Punk favor here, and we're all hyped for who this final opponent could be, and it's the most obvious one. And that's Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is the most obvious choice. Sami Zayn for the last 2 years has had some of the biggest matches on the WrestleMania card. He main evented night 1 of WrestleMania 39, toppling the Usos and the longest reigning tag team champions of all time, topples them in the night 1 main event, and then goes on to topple Gunther for his historic 666-day Intercontinental title reign, just to have no match this year? Question mark. Sami Zayn is left off the card, and yeah, Sami and KO, they went to war, and it seemed like this time was different, but those two are going to always be friends, and then enemies, and then friends, and then enemies. Sami Zayn could easily come out and say, you know what? I'm doing this for Kevin. I'm doing this for Kevin. And Sami turns heel, and now he's aligned with Kevin for when he comes back, or whatever the case may be. And Sami turns heel and goes after Randy Orton. And this feud then picks up where the Kevin Owens-Randy Orton feud left off. Sami just becomes KO in this situation. And then Sami has a place on the card, because it's actually pretty surprising that he's not on the card. And, well, here's his spot. It's the most obvious. Him and Kevin Owens, no matter how much they hate each other, there's still love there, a friendship there, and we can just easily do it. So there you have it. There you have it. Those are all my opponents for Randy Orton. Right now, it seems like all hope is lost. He's going to be left off the card, but I just showed you, like, without even trying, without even reaching across for Dean Ambrose or Daniel Bryan, it's pretty easy to get Randy Orton an opponent. Boys, girls, let me know if there's anyone you would like Randy Orton to wrestle at WrestleMania 41. Please comment below and have yourselves a great day.